It is July 30th, Tuesday, 2:06 in the afternoon. Good afternoon, how are you?
Good, and yourself?
Good, thanks for asking. So today you'll be interviewed on the workforce and how it is segregated by the sexes. Are you willing and able to answer as honest as possible the questions I have for you today?
Yes.
Good. Are you in fact 21 years old and from the Central Valley?
Yes, I am.
Are you a female and your ethnicity is black?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll have a series of questions for you to ask now, starting. Do you feel the gender composition of the labor force is segregated by gender?
Yes, I do.
How so?
I say that the gender discrimination is in the workforce, meaning I did a class in psychology. I'm pretty sure it was Psychology 1, and I took that with Mr. Fortune, who's a good teacher, by the way. We did a occupation survey, and we went around to hospitals, meaning the hospital at the Navy base, the hospital in Hanford. We went to mechanic jobs, went to different jobs, and we asked people how their pay was, and it seemed that men got paid higher than women when they did the same job in the same hours.
Okay, have you had any other experiences where it would make you feel that the labor force is segregated by gender?
Yes, I had a friend named Victoria who went out for a job, and she picked a paintballing job in particular, and she said these two guys interviewed her and that they said that her resume was good, but that since she was a girl they couldn't hire her because girls don't do paintballing, they don't play. But that's sexist if you think about it.
Right. I'm sorry to hear that. Do you feel that certain occupations are segregated by sex? For instance, I'll throw a few out there: firefighting, nursing, dentistry, police, law enforcement.
Yes, the ones that you listed, I would say for firefighting, you see more men in that occupation than you would see women. I don't ever think I've ever seen a women firefighter. I remember being a kid and we would go and tour the firefighting, and I never met a firefighter woman before. And also in the police force, they say that you would see men mainly being a cop rather than a woman because they think a woman couldn't do or become a cop, or they're too weak to be able to hold a gun. So you don't really see women inside those occupations. And for nursing, I feel like there's gender discrimination because more people think that nurses should be women rather than men.
Okay, now why do you feel that more women should be nurses than men? Like
I feel that way
your view on
because
that?
I've heard it before. People were like, nursing are for women because women are sensitive. Women can care for someone more than a man because men don't grow up to be sensitive as girls. So I've heard people say, well, a nursing job is for a woman rather than it is for a man. Men are supposed to be strong and women are supposed to be housewives, care for their husbands. So that's why they say nursing is for women rather than a man.
So have you ever experienced gender discrimination in the workforce, and how has it affected you? Could be less pay, could have been like you could only promote so far, things of that nature.
I would say yes, I have experienced that. At my college, where I still attend, I had a library job and I was a student worker. And I would say I did my job pretty good. I read the handbook, I did everything that I was supposed to do, and I would ask for more hours. And they would tell me, no, you worked enough. But when my coworker Hector, who was also a student worker, they would be like, oh yeah, Hector, you can get more hours. So I felt like just because he was a boy and I was a girl, he was able to get more hours than me and be able to promote more than me. And I've asked them like why I couldn't work more, and they're just like, well, you already worked hard enough, we don't want to strain you. And I was just like, well, why does he get more hours and I don't? And they could never answer that. So I would say, yeah, I experienced gender discrimination.
Okay, are there any other experiences here at that job that you had, you or a friend had experienced that there was gender discrimination going on? Or
I would say my coworker China, when we all applied for the job, they said that they wanted 3 boys and 2 girls, and I asked, well, why do you want 3 boys and not 3 girls? They're like, oh, well, it's because guys can lift heavy things. And I was like, well, why are you discriminating us, saying that we can't lift 50 pounds or more? And I feel like I can lift more things than most guys can. So that would be another experience.
Okay, now, my last question for you here today is, have you ever been affected by traditional views in the workforce? And you kind of briefly went over that already. And by traditional, I mean, men are going to be tougher than women. Women are going to be more sensitive. Maybe they don't want you to make more money than them because, traditionally the man's supposed to bring home the money and not the female, not the wife. So have you ever been affected by these personally?
I would say yes. Me doing my job, reading the handbook, I would go pick up the heavy stuff. And I remember one day Ron's like, no, that's not for you to do. And I was just like, and Ron, who was my boss, I was like, well, it said in the handbook I'm supposed to do this. He's like, well, that's for a guy to do. And I was like, I signed up for this job to get paid equally. Doesn't mean if I'm a girl or a guy. And I was like, I can lift things. Just because I'm a girl doesn't mean I'm not strong enough. And I was like, I should be able to do something if I feel like I can do it. And if you thinking that I'm a girl and I can't do it, then this job's just not for me.
Have you ever experienced sexual harassment in the workforce? Or a friend?
Yes. I will say what we would wear, we would see most of the guys just, you know how guys are. They would just be like, well, look at her wearing that. And, it's work appropriate, but if I would wear something like leggings or something like pants that are kind of tight, I would notice me and my friend will get more discouraged by the bosses for wearing stuff like that, but it was in the handbook saying that it was okay.
So maybe like a dress coding type of thing. Women would get more dress coded
than men. I would say when guys would wear their shorts and it wasn't their hand length, they wouldn't get in trouble, but when we were off by an inch or something, we would get demonized, or we would get in trouble for that. And I was like, well, look at him. His pants aren't his hand length. Why am I being discriminated and sexually harassed like that?
All right. Well, thank you for your honest answers today. And that'll do it for our interview. And thank you very much.